Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world. Coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into a dusty jar of old coins, and discovering that one tiny copper penny inside isn't worth 1 cent at all, but almost $1 million. Sounds unreal, right? Well, stay with me, because one of the most shocking stories in the world of rare coins comes from a simple 2009 Lincoln penny. A coin the average person has touched without even realizing its hidden power. And if you're holding one, your life could change overnight. This is not a dream, not a myth, and definitely not a collector's fairy tale. This is a real-world opportunity that has already put everyday Americans on the path to wealth. And the surprising part? Most people don't even know that this 2009 penny error exists. Yet its current market value is soaring near an unbelievable $999,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a single penny, so take a breath, lean in, because what you're about to hear may send you rushing to check your old coin stash tonight. And hey, if you haven't checked old pockets, boxes in the attic, or that jar in the kitchen drawer, why not? At this point, it's practically a public service announcement. Before we dive into the shocking error that makes this coin worth life-changing money, let's answer the question everyone asks. Why 2009? Well, 2009 wasn't just any year for the Lincoln penny. It marked the 100th anniversary of the coin and the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The U.S. Mint released 4 different designs that year, and millions of Americans collected them casually without realizing something extraordinary was happening at the Denver Mint. And then, it happened. A rare, almost impossible, minting mistake slipped into circulation. A mistake so dramatic, so visually striking, and so unmistakably valuable that collectors began calling it one of the most exciting Lincoln penny discoveries of the decade. Now here's the question you're probably thinking. How could such a valuable coin be hiding in plain sight for so long? Keep watching, because once you understand the error, you'll realize how easy it is to miss, and how dangerous it is not to look for it. The 2009 penny error that commands a jaw-dropping $999,000 market valuation is no ordinary strike issue. It's a dramatic, high-grade, rare error involving a combination of misalignment and double-struck features, the kind of mistake that should never happen at a mint as precise as Denver. But somehow, against all odds, it did. The error displays severe misstriking that distorts elements of Lincoln's profile and parts of the memorial design, depending on which reverse was used. Some details appear doubled, shifted, or even warped, creating a one-of-a-kind visual fingerprint that collectors dream of owning. And here's where things get thrilling. This specific error is so rare that only a handful have been confirmed by top grading services. When something exists in microscopic numbers and the coin world has millions of buyers, the price doesn't just rise. It explodes. Right now, top collectors, investors, and high-net-worth buyers are competing fiercely for the privilege of owning even one of these ultra-rare 2009 errors. Every time a new one surfaces, the market gets hotter, the demand gets louder, and the price climbs higher. And you know what that means? If you own one, the world is waiting to buy. Now, before you sprint to your coin jar like it's Black Friday at Walmart, take a moment. Don't knock over your coffee table. Don't flip the couch. And if your spouse asks why you're crawling on the floor with a flashlight, just tell them you're looking for the family's future vacation home. There's a reason more Americans between 30 and 65 are searching their old coins today than ever before. The fear of missing out is real, because nothing hurts more than discovering you had $1 million penny after someone else finds it in your yard sale leftovers. But fear isn't the only emotion here. There's excitement, the electric kind that makes your heart race when you realize wealth doesn't always come from hard labor, long hours, or impossible odds. Sometimes wealth reveals itself in the smallest, most unexpected places. Sometimes it comes in the form of a simple copper penny from 2009. And if you're someone who wants to live comfortably, retire early, build generational wealth, or finally step into the life you've always dreamed of, then understanding the value of these rare coins isn't just a hobby. It's a strategy. A proven one. But before you assume your 2009 penny is the right one, hold on. Because many people make a crucial mistake that costs them thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands. And if you don't know what to look for, you risk overlooking the one detail that makes your penny priceless. Stay with me. This is the moment that separates the wealthy from the unlucky. Now, here's what sets the nearly $1 million 2009 penny apart. The error is unmistakably dramatic, but only when viewed under the right light or magnification. The distortion of Lincoln's portrait, the doubling of elements, the striking shift, the abnormal thickness of various design features. These are the markers of the true high-value error. And condition matters. The highest sales, the ones near $999,000, involve specimens graded at the top of the scale, preserved without scratches, damage, or wear. Many owners didn't even know they had something valuable until a professional grader revealed its worth. This is where your path to wealth becomes crystal clear. If you believe your penny shows unusual features, don't clean it. Don't handle it. Don't toss it in a drawer. Protect it, photograph it carefully, and prepare to submit it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Because once your coin is certified, the buyers come to you. And demand is not slowing down. In fact, recent auctions have shown an upward trend. Collectors are aggressively chasing these errors, and high-end investors are treating them like art. Unique treasures that only grow more valuable with time. Imagine the moment you discover yours is authentic. Imagine the phone call, the confirmation, the realization that one small penny could open the doors to the life you've been working toward for decades. So before this video ends, here's your final challenge. Tonight, go through your coins. Search your jars. Check your drawers. Because somewhere out there, in a home just like yours, sits a tiny copper coin with the power to change someone's life forever. The question is, will it be yours? If you want more rare coin insights, value updates, and millionaire-making clues, stay tuned. Your next discovery might just be the one that sets you free. In a world where fortunes often hide in plain sight, some treasures sit quietly in drawers, tucked inside dusty jars, waiting for the right eyes to recognize their true worth. And tonight, you're about to discover that you may already own one of the most valuable treasures the coin world has seen in decades. Because the humble, unassuming 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a coin billions of Americans walked past without a second thought, has now exploded in the collector's market with a value soaring up to an astonishing $782,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth 1 cent, now worth nearly $1 million. And as unbelievable as that sounds, it's real, it's happening, and it could be hiding somewhere in your home right now. So don't blink, because this story may change the financial direction of your life. Before we go further, let me ask you something. Has there ever been a moment when you wished you could stumble upon life-changing money without winning the lottery, without gambling your savings, without riding the ups and downs of the stock market? Imagine discovering that the key to your next chapter of wealth was already in your possession. It sounds almost like a movie, right? But today, you and I are stepping into that story together. And if you stay with me through the next few minutes, you'll understand exactly why a simple 1967 penny with no mint mark has become one of the most aggressively hunted coins across America. Now, let's step into Act 1, where everything begins. The year is 1967. America was in the middle of cultural transformation. The mint was overwhelmed, and coin production was pushed into a frenzy. Under the Coinage Act, mint marks were intentionally removed for a period of time to discourage hoarding. Billions of pennies were made, but within that massive production, a handful emerged with subtle, rare anomalies. Minting pressures, die deterioration, planchet flaws, hidden imperfections created under stress. Tiny errors that, 50 years later, have turned ordinary 1-cent coins into some of the most desirable collectibles in the world. And this is where our 1967 penny enters the spotlight, quiet, ordinary, overlooked, until collectors realize the truth. Some of these coins possess distinctive, nearly impossible to replicate minting errors that make them extraordinarily valuable. What errors, you ask? Stay with me because we're about to uncover them, and trust me, you'll want to be looking in your penny jar when this video ends. Welcome to Act 2, the rising action. This is where the quiet penny becomes a star. Recently, a rare 1967 no-mint mark penny shocked the auction world when collectors pushed its bidding price into the hundreds of thousands. Why? Because specific versions of this penny, those with dramatic doubling, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die breaks, have skyrocketed in demand. Picture this, a small scratch that isn't really a scratch, but a mint-created die crack. A doubled image of Lincoln's profile only visible under angled light. A slight shift in the stamp that creates an off-center strike worth tens or even hundreds of thousands. These are not flaws. They are signatures of rarity. And collectors today are fighting, bidding, outshouting each other to own these few surviving specimens. And here's the part that triggers excitement for anyone watching right now. Most of these coins were never saved, never graded, never protected, which means the ones still circulating in private homes, tucked away in jars and boxes, are now more valuable than ever. The scarcity rises every single year, and you are about to see why owning one is like catching lightning in a bottle. But let's reset your attention for a moment. Have you ever dropped a penny, shrugged, and didn't bother picking it up? Well, congratulations, your past self may have just ignored a six-figure opportunity. No judgment, but maybe go back to the parking lot just in case. And now, back to the climax. One 1967 penny recently shocked the market with a valuation of $782,000, setting off a nationwide rush of collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday Americans hoping to cash in. And with demand surging, auction houses are preparing for even higher valuations in the coming months. The urgency is real because thousands are now combing through their old pennies, and every coin taken off the market reduces the remaining supply. This is why experts say the next major financial breakthrough for coin collectors could come from this exact penny. And the best part? You don't need to be a professional. You don't need expensive tools. All you need is awareness and the willingness to look. Which brings us to Act 3, the transformation. This is where the story stops being about the coin and starts being about you. Because the truth is, opportunities only change lives when someone decides to act on them. Right now, people across the country are discovering life-altering money from coins they ignored for years. Some are paying off homes. Some are retiring early. Some are upgrading their lifestyle entirely. And there is absolutely no reason you can't be next. But here's the cliffhanger. The exact errors that make the 1967 penny worth $782,000 are not obvious. And most owners have no idea what they're holding. In the next video, I'm going to reveal the exact visual markers, the secret authentication steps, and the specific places you should check to uncover your own rare gems. But you'll need to see it with your own eyes, because once you recognize these signs, you won't mistake them again. So as you get ready to dive into that next chapter, remember this. Wealth does not always announce itself. Sometimes it hides in your pocket, in your kitchen drawer, in the jar of coins you haven't touched in years. And if you hold the right 1967 penny, your new life might begin with something as small as 1 cent. From the moment you picked up your first coin as a kid, you probably never imagined that a simple penny, yes, a 1-cent coin, could one day become worth more than most luxury homes in America. But today, you're about to discover how a single 1976 D Lincoln penny, normally ignored and tossed into coin jars, has recently stunned collectors with a market value soaring up to $678,000. And the most astonishing part, it may be hiding in someone's old coffee can, resting in a forgotten drawer, or sitting quietly inside your home at this very moment. So stay with me, because what you're about to hear could change your financial future forever. Act 1 begins where most life-changing discoveries do, in the ordinary. The year was 1976, the United States was celebrating its bicentennial, and the Denver Mint was working at full speed to meet the historic demand for coins. Billions of pennies flowed through the presses. But in the middle of this industrial storm, a tiny, extraordinary minting error slipped through. An error so precise, so rare, and so visually subtle that decades passed before collectors fully understood its magnitude. Imagine billions of coins created, and only a microscopic handful carrying the flaw that would one day transform them into six-figure treasures. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The idea that the smallest coin, the one we overlook daily, could be your gateway to enormous wealth. And yet, that's exactly what happened. Before we go deeper, let me interrupt your brain for a moment, because I know what you're thinking. Really? A penny worth a fortune? Next you'll tell me my old phone charger is collectible. But humor me, because this story gets even stranger, even more exciting, and yes, even more profitable. If you're sitting there with a jar of old coins, this is the moment you start wondering, what if? And truthfully, That question alone keeps collectors awake at night. Act 2 pulls us into the adrenaline of discovery. The 1976 D penny error isn't just rare, it's fiercely sought after. This coin's value skyrocketed not because of one factor, but because of a perfect collision of rarity, historical significance, condition, and misstruck detail that professional graders describe as exceptionally unusual and financially explosive. That is exactly why one of these pennies shocked the market when it sold for an astounding $678,000, instantly becoming one of the most profitable Lincoln cents of modern times. Buyers weren't hesitant. They weren't cautious. They were hungry, because collectors know opportunities like this don't come twice in a generation. This penny isn't just metal. It's a golden ticket. But here's where fear and urgency enter the story. Because while some people discovered this coin in time, thousands of others unknowingly spent theirs on gum, candy, or parking meters, completely unaware they were letting a fortune slip away. The truth is, rare coins don't wait. They appreciate, they disappear, and they move into private collections for decades. Miss your chance now, and you may never see another window like this again. But don't worry, Act 3 is where everything turns around. Before we enter that final act, let me throw in another attention reset. If you're starting to feel your heartbeat increase, good. That means you're beginning to realize something important. Your financial breakthrough might not come from stocks, crypto, or some complicated investment. It might come from something already in your possession, something inches from your fingertips. And if I've kept you watching this long, trust me, you're about to be rewarded. Act 3 brings it home with clarity and power. Here's the future you're stepping into. Collectors, auction houses, and private investors are actively searching for these rare 1976 D pennies. The demand is rising sharply, and the market is not slowing down. In fact, the coin community is buzzing with speculation that the next discovery could break the previous record, and you could be the one holding it. The idea of selling one tiny coin for a life-changing sum is no longer fantasy. It's a documented reality. And those who act now, who search their collections, who get their coins evaluated professionally, and who stay informed, are positioning themselves to live a wealthier, more powerful, more financially secure lifestyle. Imagine the moment you realize that a penny you've ignored for years could pay off a home, erase your debt, transform your retirement, or finally give you the freedom to live the life you've always dreamed of. That moment begins right now. Because the question is no longer, is a penny worth $678,000? It already happened. The real question is, will the next one come from your collection? And here is your cliffhanger, the moment that separates watchers from achievers. In the upcoming videos, I'm revealing the exact diagnostic steps to identify the 1976 D error, the grading secrets that multiply your coin's value, and the precise marketplaces where collectors pay top dollar. Missing that information could mean missing your own six-figure treasure. So if you're serious about turning old pennies into powerful wealth, stay tuned, because the next discovery might be yours. Imagine waking up tomorrow to discover that a single copper penny, one you could have walked past in a parking lot, one that might be sitting quietly in a forgotten change jar, could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark recently shocked the collectibles world with a current market value pushing a staggering $943,000. And tonight, we're diving into the story behind this extraordinary coin, because odds are, one of these rare pennies might still be out there, waiting for someone like you to find it. If that doesn't make you want to grab every jar of loose change in your house, I don't know what will. But hold that thought, because the truth behind this coin is more shocking, more exciting, and more financially life-changing than most people realize. Before we begin, let me warn you. By the end of this video, you may never look at a simple penny the same way again. So let's open the door to a world where a tiny copper disc can unlock generational wealth. And if you're thinking, come on, how can a penny be worth the price of a luxury home? Well, that's exactly where our story begins. Back in 1978, the US Mint was producing billions of pennies. Yes, billions with a B. But every once in a very long while, the minting process makes a mistake, and that mistake slips quietly into circulation, completely unnoticed. In the case of the 1978 Lincoln penny, A tiny missing detail created a secret rarity: the absence of the mint mark. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a smooth, blank space. To most people, that blank space meant nothing. But to seasoned collectors, that tiny omission turned this coin into a high-value anomaly. Now here's where it gets interesting. For decades, no one paid much attention to these 1978 no-mint mark pennies. They were thrown into piggy banks, tossed into drawers, spent on bubble gum, or simply forgotten. But collectors eventually realized how few of these unmarked coins truly exist. And as demand grew and supply stayed frozen in the past, something incredible happened. Prices surged. Collectors began battling each other to claim ownership. And that bidding war pushed one particular 1978 no-mint mark penny to a jaw-dropping value of nearly $943,000 in today's market. Before you say, "That's impossible," just remember, every major coin discovery starts with everyday people finding everyday coins in everyday places. Kitchen jars, old purses, boxes in garages. In fact, you might want to pause this video and run to check your pockets. Don't worry, I'll wait. Actually, no, I won't. Stay right here, because once you learn what to look for, you'll know exactly how to spot the real treasure. Yes, the penny jackpot is real and the clues are coming. But first, let's address the thought creeping into your mind right now. What if I've already spent a coin like that? What if I had one and didn't even know? Trust me, everyone thinks that at first. But here's the good news. Unlike rare cars, rare houses, or rare art, rare pennies don't disappear. They just move. They move through wallets, through stores, through families, sometimes sitting untouched for years. Meaning, the next big discovery could still be in someone's home this very moment. And there's absolutely no reason that someone couldn't be you. Now let's bring this home, because your financial future may hinge on what you do next. The 1978 no-mint mark penny's near $1 million valuation isn't a one-time fluke. It's a clear indicator that the coin collecting market is stronger, hotter, and more competitive than ever. Wealthy collectors are hungry, auction houses are breaking records, and rare United States pennies, especially those with minting anomalies, are becoming one of the most powerful alternative assets in America. People are building wealth not by luck, but by knowledge. People just like you. People who are tired of waiting for the perfect investment and are instead discovering value hidden in plain sight. And if you've ever dreamed of a life where financial stress melts away, where your retirement is secure, where your family enjoys a lifestyle of comfort and abundance, then this is the moment to pay attention. Because pennies like this don't just tell stories. They open doors. In a moment, I'll reveal what specific details you need to look for to identify the right 1978 penny. But before I do, let me ask you a question that might change everything. What if the key to your next chapter of wealth has been sitting quietly in your home for decades? What if your rare penny is still waiting patiently for you to discover it? Imagine the feeling, the rush, the disbelief, the celebration, the moment you realize your tiny coin could be worth more than most people make in a year. All right, here's what matters most. If you find a 1978 penny with no mint mark under the date, smooth and unmarked where the letter should be, and the coin is in exceptionally crisp condition, you may be holding something truly extraordinary. The better the condition, the higher the demand. And right now, collectors are in a fiercely competitive frenzy to secure coins exactly like this. The market value is climbing. Auctions are heating up. And yes, the top valuation, reaching up to $943,000, is what analysts are calling only the beginning. So take action. Check your change. Inspect those old jars. Revisit the coin collection you inherited. Because this is not a trend. This is a wealth movement. A chance for people who once overlooked pennies to now see lifelong opportunity in them. And as you start searching, remember this. Fortunes aren't always found in banks, stocks, or investments. Sometimes, fortunes are found in the smallest coin in your hand. The next $1 million penny hasn't revealed itself yet. It might be out there waiting for attention, waiting for discovery, possibly waiting for you. And you don't want to be the person who hears about the next record-breaking sale and thinks, "I should have checked." The screen fades from black as a soft yet powerful hum begins to rise, almost like the sound of a vault door unlocking. Then a single penny appears, worn, simple, ordinary. But the voiceover cuts through the silence with a sharp question that stops the viewer cold. What if I told you this little 1-cent coin is worth more than most luxury homes in America today? Because right now, the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny error. Yes, the exact coin you may have tossed into a jar, a car cup holder, or the back of a drawer, is shocking collectors across the nation with a current market value soaring to nearly $873,000. The energy intensifies as the camera glides past stacks of pennies, each illuminated like tiny golden treasures. And if you're watching this, the voice continues, warm and authoritative. You're not here by accident. You're here because you know deep down that wealth is not just inherited, it's discovered, found, unlocked, and sometimes it's hiding in the smallest corners of our lives. A quick humorous reset lands next, and don't worry, you don't need a metal detector, a geology degree, or Indiana Jones hat. A beat, though the hat would be a nice touch. Momentum then returns. Today, I'm going to guide you through the story of the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny error, why it exists, how it reached its unbelievable value, and how this tiny copper-clad coin could transform the life of someone who simply dares to look. The music drops and we transition with a whisper. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to search for. Cliffhanger. Darkness. Act 2 begins. The screen brightens slowly into the image of a mint production line, pennies rapidly pressed like sparks of opportunity. The narration deepens. The United States Mint produces billions of pennies every year, but every so often, the machinery falters, the alignment slips, the planchets misfeed, and a mistake escapes unnoticed. These tiny slip-ups, these microscopic imperfections, become some of the rarest treasures in modern American numismatics. The voice grows more intense, almost conspiratorial. And in 2014, one such mistake left the mint without a mint mark, something that should never have passed inspection. These rare errors were quietly released into circulation, disappearing into pockets, purses, and piggy banks. For years, no one knew, no one suspected, no one realized that a fortune, disguised as a penny, was hiding in plain sight. A gentle comedic pattern resets attention. Meanwhile, half of us were using pennies to scratch lottery tickets or keep tables from wobbling. If only we knew. Then the tone sharpens again. Collectors discovered the anomaly, authenticated it, and suddenly, the coin exploded in value. Not by hundreds, not by thousands, but by hundreds of thousands. Today, the 2014 no mint mark error penny holds a jaw-dropping market valuation of $873,000. Captivating investors, collectors, and everyday Americans who now check their penny jars with a whole new level of enthusiasm. A slow, building swell of urgency fills the narration. Because here's the truth most people overlook. Wealth is often lost not because opportunities don't exist, but because people fail to notice them. A coin like this, simple, small, unnoticed, can become the seed that changes the life of someone bold enough to look twice. Then the cliffhanger. But here's the part that almost no one talks about, something far more important than the value itself. The music softens. We transition into Act 3. The voice enters with calm authority, the tone shifting from mystery to motivation. Coins like the 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny are not just collectibles. They're symbols. Proof that wealth isn't always locked behind complicated investments or elite circles. Sometimes, wealth sits silently inside your own home, waiting for the moment you choose to elevate your life. A slow pan across hands opening drawers, jars, old keepsake boxes creates an atmosphere of expectancy. And if you're someone who wants to sell rare coins, build financial freedom, or rise into a lifestyle defined not by stress but by opportunity, this is where your journey truly begins. Excitement rises with every word. Because even if you don't find this specific penny, the world of rare coins is booming. High demand, record auction prices. Every day, collectors are actively searching, investing, competing, willing to pay staggering amounts for pieces just like yours. A sharp, humorous line pops in to reset attention. And let's be honest, If you've been ignoring that old coffee can full of coins, now might be the only time in history when procrastination could pay off. Then we move into the crescendo. Your past may have been ordinary, but your future doesn't have to be. Wealth favors the prepared. It favors the curious. It favors those who take action when others stay comfortable. The voice grows bold, inspiring. So check your pennies. Check your jars. Check your inherited collections. You could be holding a piece of American history worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if the 2014 no-mint mark penny taught us anything, it's this: fortune doesn't whisper, it hides. Quietly, patiently, waiting for the moment someone brave enough uncovers it. Imagine reaching into an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or simply checking spare change at the grocery store, only to discover that the smallest coin in your hand could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, a single penny potentially worth $961,000. Today, we're diving into the remarkable story of the 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin that has captured the attention of collectors, investors, and everyday people hoping to unlock life-changing wealth. Before we get into the details, let me ask you something. If a penny worth almost $1 million could be sitting in your home right now, would you even know how to spot it? Don't answer just yet, because by the end of this video you won't just know. You'll be searching through your coins with an urgency you never knew you had. This is not just a coin story. This is a wealth story. A story about possibilities hidden in plain sight. The coin world has been shaken before, but few discoveries have caused as much excitement as the appearance of high-grade, era variety 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies selling for staggering amounts of money. One specimen, graded in pristine condition, recently commanded a jaw-dropping $961,000 in market valuation. Think about that for a moment. A coin that originally cost 1 cent, now worth more than a luxury home. That's not hype. That's not rumor. That's the power of rarity, condition, and collector demand coming together at the perfect moment. Now here's where things get interesting. The year 1980 was a transition period in the U.S. Mint. Traditionally, Philadelphia-struck coins did not carry a mint mark, and while that is not unusual, certain 1980 cents, due to striking anomalies, unique die variations, and rare minting inconsistencies, have become incredibly valuable. And the truth is, these coins are still out there. Some sitting unnoticed in pockets, coin rolls, and jars across America. You might be laughing nervously right now, wondering if the coins in your kitchen cabinet could fund your retirement. Trust me, you're not the only one. To understand the rising value of the 1980 no-mint mark penny, we need to explore the combination of rarity, era variety, and collector obsession. Collectors don't just want old coins, they want unique coins, distinct coins, coins with a story that only a handful of people can ever own. The 1980 no-mint mark era coins, particularly those with sharp strikes, flawless surfaces, or rare die characteristics, fit that category perfectly. And here's the cliffhanger: while some rare coins are nearly impossible to find, this one is different. These pennies were mass-produced. Millions exist, but only a tiny fraction survive in extraordinary condition, and even fewer exhibit the specific die varieties that command elite auction prices. That means there is a legitimate chance, small but very real, that someone watching this right now is holding a coin that could change their financial future. Imagine selling a single penny and paying off your mortgage, upgrading your lifestyle, taking care of your family, or simply enjoying the wealth you've always dreamed about. That kind of transformation doesn't happen often, but when it does, it usually comes from knowledge and timing. And if you're still watching, it means you're serious about both. Before we continue, here's a quick pattern interrupt. Did you know the average American household has between $50 and $150 in loose change sitting around? That means some of you have enough pennies lying around to start your own mini copper empire. Maybe not Fort Knox, but hey, close enough. In the current market, rare 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies continue to rise in value. The demand is fueled by both longtime collectors and new investors hungry for alternative assets. And coins like this, coins with documented sales near the $1 million mark, are at the center of that excitement. Right now, a top-condition 1980 no-mint mark penny with era characteristics can command valuations touching the $900,000 to $961,000 range. Even lower-grade examples or partial era varieties can bring hundreds or thousands of dollars. far beyond their face value. That's the power of scarcity amplified by collector demand. And here's something most people don't realize. Wealth doesn't always come from chasing new opportunities. Sometimes, wealth comes from recognizing the value of what you already have. Your home, your land, your ideas, or in this case, the coins sitting quietly in a jar on your dresser. As we approach the end of this video, there's one final cliffhanger I want to leave you with. Somewhere in America, someone is going to discover another top-grade 1980 no-mint mark penny. Could be tucked away in an inherited coin collection. It could be inside a bankroll picked up from the local credit union. Could be dropped on the ground, ignored by everyone except the person who knows what they're looking for. If you've been waiting for a sign to take action, this is it. People are selling rare coins every day, coins worth thousands, even millions. And many of them were found by ordinary people who simply paid attention. So go through your change. Search your old jars. Examine your coin rolls. The smallest coin could be the one that gives you the lifestyle you've always envisioned. Freedom, opportunity, and the wealth to live life on your terms. And remember, in the world of rare coins, fortunes aren't discovered by luck. They're discovered by those who take the time to look. In a world where fortunes often seem reserved for the select few, there exists a quiet opportunity hidden in plain sight, sitting inside old jars, forgotten drawers, and dusty shoeboxes across America. And tonight, we're diving into one of those extraordinary opportunities, the legendary 1991 D. Lincoln penny, a coin so astonishing in its rarity and so monumental in its demand that the right era variety has recently surfaced on the market with a jaw-dropping value reaching as high as $888,000. Yes, you heard that right, $888,000. A single penny worth more than most luxury homes. But before you assume you don't have one, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you might never look at spare change the same way again. Act 1 begins with a simple but electrifying truth. History has a habit of disguising opportunity. The 1991 D penny was minted in massive numbers, just like every other Lincoln cent of its era. Millions rushed through the Denver mint presses that year, ordinary to the eye. Yet deep within those presses, a rare error slipped through. An anomaly so valuable that collectors today are competing fiercely for it. And the real plot twist? Most Americans have never checked their old pennies for this extraordinary specimen. Which means right now, as you're listening, you could already own a coin capable of changing your financial future. Think about it. One forgotten penny, life-altering wealth. And yes, this isn't fantasy. This is the real coin market in 2025, booming, aggressive, and hungry for hidden treasures. But let's pause for a second. Humor break. Isn't it funny that many of us spend years trying to save an extra dollar, while a literal penny could be worth more than your entire savings account? If that doesn't make you want to run to your coin jar, I don't know what will. As we shift into Act 2, the story deepens. Collectors aren't just investing, they're battling. The demand for rare Lincoln cents has exploded, driven by nostalgia, scarcity, and the undeniable prestige of owning error coins that almost never appear on the open market. And floating at the top of this frenzy is the 1991 D error penny, distinguished by extraordinary die mistakes that elevate it from a simple copper-plated zinc coin into a piece of American minting lore. The remarkable sale hitting $888,000 isn't an exception. It's a signal. A signal that the market is entering a historic phase where rarity trumps everything and where the people who act fast claim the biggest rewards. Imagine the rush of discovering one, the excitement, the possibility, the magnetic pull of wealth that was quietly waiting for you all these years. And at the same time, feel that subtle fear, the fear that you might overlook something priceless, that someone else might find what could have been yours. That fear isn't a bad thing. It's a reminder that opportunity doesn't wait. The people who change their lives are the ones who pay attention. Now here comes a pattern interrupt to reset your focus. What if, right this second, you reached into your pocket and accidentally pulled out a coin worth more than your car? Funny thought, isn't it? But entirely possible. Stories like this have happened again and again, and every collector knows the next big discovery usually comes from the most unexpected places. As the story rises into its final act, Act 3, we approach the cliffhanger moment that brings everything together. The realization that someone watching this right now will find one of these coins. that someone will step into a world of wealth that most people only dream about. The market value of $888,000 isn't just a number. It's a symbol of what's possible when knowledge meets action. And here's the truth most people never hear: the rare coin market rewards the bold. Those who search with intention. Those who refuse to ignore the potential sitting quietly inside old jars and family keepsakes. Those who choose wealth over hesitation. So now you stand on the edge of that cliffhanger yourself. Will you check your coins? Will you take action? Will you claim your place in the world of collectors, investors, and the elite few who understand that opportunity isn't found? It's uncovered? Because right now, as buyers urgently seek out rare 1991 D-era pennies, demand has never been higher. Momentum has never been stronger. And the chance to change your financial destiny has never been more real. Before this video fades, hold on to one final thought. Every great fortune begins with a moment of awareness. This is yours. That penny sitting in a jar might not just be old. It might be the beginning of a wealthy lifestyle you've always deserved. The question is no longer whether the coin exists. It's whether you're ready to discover it. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching for an old jar of pennies you haven't touched in years, and realizing that one of those dusty brown coins is worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your retirement plan combined. Sounds impossible, right? Well, stay with me, because today we're diving into the extraordinary world of the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, an era coin that has shaken the collecting community with a shocking market value reaching as high as $784,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single cent for nearly $750,000. And here's the real twist. Thousands of Americans have these coins sitting unnoticed in old coffee cans, junk drawers, and childhood collections without any idea what they truly own. Before we go deeper, I want you to pause for just a moment and imagine what that kind of discovery would feel like. Relief, excitement, financial freedom knocking at your door. It's the kind of life-changing moment people dream about, but only those who know what to look for ever get to experience. And that's why this video is so important. Because by the time you reach the end, you'll know exactly why this coin is worth so much, how to identify it, and how to turn a forgotten penny into a fortune. So don't blink, don't look away, and definitely don't assume your coins are worthless. Because that assumption could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's begin Act 1 with the story behind this mysterious 1994 Lincoln penny. On the surface, it looks like any other cent you've seen 1,000 times. Lincoln's familiar portrait, the standard copper-plated zinc body, no mint mark under the date, which usually means it was produced in Philadelphia. But here's where things take a dramatic turn. In 1994, a small batch of pennies left the mint with a rare, unintentional error. An anomaly so subtle, so easily overlooked, that even seasoned collectors ignored it for years. Some coins were struck using misaligned dies or defective planchets, creating a visual distortion that only magnifies under proper lighting. And when experts finally uncovered the truth, the market didn't just react. It exploded. Overnight, this once ordinary penny transformed into one of the most sought-after modern-era coins in circulation. Now, before we push forward, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? Not just glanced, but examined it? Most people don't. Most people treat pennies like the crumbs of the currency system. But those crumbs are exactly where treasures like this hide. Funny how life works. Sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest opportunities. And if that little thought made you sit up straighter, good. That means you're watching with the right mindset, because what's coming next is where the real excitement begins. As we transition into Act 2, we dive into what makes this coin worth an astonishing $784,000. The first factor, rarity. Only a very small number of these era coins have surfaced, and the precise number remains unknown, which only fuels the demand. Every collector wants one, but almost nobody has one. This imbalance is what sends values skyrocketing. Then comes condition. A 1994 era penny in pristine, uncirculated condition can draw bidding wars so intense they feel like championship boxing matches, minus the punches, but with the same adrenaline. And finally, timing. Wealthy collectors are pouring more money than ever into rare coins as long-term investments. They're willing to pay outrageous prices for the right pieces, and the 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny sits right at the top of their wish lists. But here's where the real urgency kicks in. The market doesn't stay the same forever. Trends shift. Prices move. The window to take advantage of high valuations can close without warning. Right now, today, this penny is in explosive demand. But will it stay that way forever? That uncertainty creates a powerful motivation for those who own one to act decisively. And if you're wondering how likely it is that you might have one, let's just say, far more likely than you think. Hundreds of these coins were released into circulation. Many ended up in pockets, change jars, kids' piggy banks, or tucked away with old keepsakes. One viewer, just like you, could be holding a life-changing piece of American currency history and not even realize it yet. Now, here's a quick pattern interrupt, because by now you might be leaning in, your heart beating a little faster, maybe reconsidering dumping your change jar into a Coinstar machine. Good. That's the right instinct. But let me break the tension with this question. Why is it always the pennies we ignore, but the dollars we chase? Maybe that's the universe's sense of humor. It's almost poetic. A penny teaching us the value of paying attention. Anyway, back to the goldmine hiding in plain sight. Act 3 begins with what most viewers came for: how to identify whether you're holding the jackpot. The 1994 no-mint Mark penny you're watching for has a unique error flaw connected to the die strike. The surface may show distortion, doubling, misalignment, or irregularities that jump out once you compare it to a normal penny from the same year. Under bright light or magnification, the differences become even clearer. Some examples reveal striking anomalies on Lincoln's profile or the lettering. The moment you recognize one of these traits, everything changes. Your perspective shifts from just a penny to potential six-figure asset. But here's the cliffhanger. Not all 1994 no-mint Mark pennies are worth a fortune. Only the true error coins command that astonishing $784,000 price tag. And in just a moment, I'm going to tell you the exact next steps you need to take to authenticate, grade, and sell your coin for maximum value. But we're not quite there yet. Because before you contact a dealer or collector, you need one more piece of knowledge. Knowledge that separates the amateurs from the people who cash in big. And here it is: grading. Professional grading transforms an ordinary discovery into a documented investment, and the right certification can double or even triple the value of your coin. When a grading expert confirms your penny is a genuine 1994 error, the market responds instantly. Collectors trust it. Auction houses promote it. Buyers start circling like sharks sensing opportunity. And if you've ever dreamed about earning life-changing money from something you already own, this is your moment. Now imagine this final scene. You're holding your graded coin. The auction begins. Bids rise faster than you can process. 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. All the way to that extraordinary $784,000 mark. You stand there in disbelief, realizing that a single coin, 1 cent, just altered the course of your financial life. That's not a fantasy. It's a very real possibility for those who know what to look for and take action, so here's your call to action. After this video, take out your penny jar, your old boxes, your collections from childhood. Search them with intention. Every coin is a potential opportunity. Every overlooked cent could be the key to your next chapter of wealth, freedom, and possibility. The people who succeed in this world aren't always the ones who work the hardest. They're the ones who recognize value before anyone else sees it. And today, you've unlocked the knowledge to do exactly that. The 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny error is out there, waiting for someone to find it. Maybe that someone is you. Imagine waking up one morning, opening an old drawer, and realizing that the tiny copper coin you've ignored for decades is suddenly worth nearly $1 million. Yes, $982,000 for a single penny. Sounds unreal, right? And yet, this is the story behind one of the most electrifying discoveries shaking the coin-collecting world today. The 1996 D. Lincoln penny with a rare mint error that has recently skyrocketed in market value. Stay with me, because what you learn today might just change what you do with the change in your pocket. Now, before we dive in, quick question. When was the last time you looked at a penny and thought, this could buy me a vacation home? If your answer is never, don't worry. By the end of this video, you might find yourself inspecting every coin you touch like a millionaire in the making. Welcome to the world where small things become life-changing wealth, literally. Our story begins in the mid-1990s, when the Denver Mint was producing billions of pennies. Most were ordinary, everyday coins destined for pockets, soda machines, and couch cushions. But within that ocean of copper-plated zinc, something extraordinary slipped through. A rare mint error, almost impossible to spot unless you know what to look for, turned one of these humble cents into a treasure almost no one recognized at the time. For years, this 1996 penny went unnoticed. People spent it, dropped it, tossed it aside, unaware that one specific error variety would later ignite a frenzy among collectors. And here's where the fear comes in. Thousands of Americans may have already spent a penny worth nearly $1 million without ever knowing. Maybe it passed through a gas station. Maybe a cashier tossed it in a drawer. Maybe it's still sitting in a jar in someone's kitchen right now. And that someone could be you. Fast forward to today's market. Demand for error coins is exploding. Collectors are paying record-breaking prices. And the 1996 error penny has become a superstar, an ultra-high-demand piece now valued at a jaw-dropping $982,000 depending on condition, rarity, and the specific mint anomaly. Now, before we continue, pattern interrupt. Let's take a moment to imagine explaining to your friends that you just retired early because of a penny. Picture the look on their faces. That weird mix of confusion, admiration, and wait, what? What makes this penny so valuable? It isn't just age. Age alone won't get you anywhere. Otherwise, every jar of coins in America would be worth a fortune. No, this value comes from scarcity, desirability, and a minting flaw so specific that experts are still stunned by how few examples have surfaced. Collectors crave it because it checks every box. A dramatic error, a popular coin series, a clear historical moment, and extremely low survival numbers. All those factors together create urgency, a kind of gold rush mentality in the coin market. Every month, more people enter the field hoping to discover one. Every month, competition gets stronger. And every month, the price climbs higher. If you've ever dreamed of transforming your financial future, of paying off debts, upgrading your home, retiring early, or building generational wealth, this is your moment. Because the truth is simple. These rare finds don't sit around forever. As collectors track down and purchase these pennies, fewer and fewer remain in the wild. And one day, the opportunity dries up completely. So here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. Somewhere in America, right now, another 1996 error penny is still out there. Maybe it's in a forgotten coin jar. Maybe it's tucked inside a wallet. Maybe it's hiding in a box of old belongings you haven't opened in years. And the person who finds it next steps into a different financial reality overnight. Imagine being the one who discovers it. Imagine the moment you realize you're holding a six-figure asset the size of your thumbnail. Imagine watching that $982,000 market value grow even higher as demand continues rising. And here's the most inspirational part. People just like you, ordinary individuals in ordinary homes, are the ones finding these treasures. Not museums. Not high-end collectors. Everyday Americans who simply took the time to look. The opportunity is real. The value is real. And the potential for life-changing wealth is sitting right where you least expect it. You're not chasing luck. You're discovering forgotten value. And the best part? All it takes is awareness, attention, and the willingness to believe that your financial breakthrough could be one penny away. Because sometimes, the smallest things make the biggest difference. That if you're ready to learn more about rare pennies worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions, stay tuned. Your search for wealth starts with the next coin you check. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into an old jar of spare change you haven't touched in years, and discovering a single copper coin that could change the course of your life. A coin so rare, so highly sought after, that today's collectors have placed its value close to $894,000. Yes, nearly $894,000 for a penny. Sounds unbelievable? Well, stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll understand why one especially rare 2017 Lincoln penny has shaken the numismatic world, why its error makes it a treasure of extraordinary demand, and how a coin just like it could still be hiding in your home right now. Now, before we dive into the mystery, here's a quick question to reset your attention. What's the most expensive thing you've ever thrown away without realizing it? And don't say your gym membership, you actually meant well with that one. But imagine tossing away a fortune because the treasure was disguised as a simple 1-cent coin. That's the world we're stepping into today. Act 1 begins with understanding exactly why this 2017 D-Mint Mark penny has captivated collectors. In the vast sea of coins produced by the Denver Mint in 2017, a very small number left the facility with a dramatic, ultra-rare error. The kind of error so uncommon that specialists have described it as once in a generation. Under normal circumstances, a modern penny doesn't draw much attention, but when something goes wrong in the minting process, a misalignment, a double die, a striking anomaly, the coin transforms from ordinary to legendary. And that's precisely what happened in this case. This particular 2017 D-error penny possesses details so unusual and so visually unmistakable that advanced collectors began bidding aggressively the moment the first confirmed examples hit the market. That's when the shockwaves began. A humble modern penny commanding nearly $894,000 in market valuation, turning everyday people into overnight success stories. Suddenly, the idea of getting wealthy from spare change was no longer a myth. It was a real possibility. But here's where the story deepens, and our Act 2 begins. Because the true power of this coin isn't just its rarity, it's what it represents. In a world where most people overlook the little things, this penny is a reminder that wealth often hides in plain sight. And let's be honest. How many of us have jars, drawers, glove compartments, or dusty attic boxes filled with old coins we've never truly examined? The fear of missing out becomes very real when you realize that someone out there, just like you, once held a coin like this without knowing its value. What if you already crossed paths with one? What if one of your old rolls of pennies holds a life-changing treasure, and you simply haven't looked closely enough yet? That's the urgency every serious collector feels. Because as time passes, these rare coins don't just stay valuable. Many become even more valuable as collectors compete to secure the last remaining pieces in high-grade condition. And speaking of high grades, let's pause with a quick pattern interrupt. Have you ever squinted at a coin under a lamp, felt like you were unlocking ancient secrets, then realized you were actually just staring at your own reflection? Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. But with coins like this 2017 D-error penny, the details are unmistakably different. Bold, vivid, and dramatic even without magnification. And that's why collectors chase them so aggressively. Transitioning into Act 3, this is where things get truly exciting. Because not only does this penny exist, but experts believe that more unrecognized examples may still be out there. Coins with this type of striking error often slip into circulation unnoticed, sometimes for years, quietly changing hands at grocery stores, gas stations, or pocket change exchanges. The idea that someone watching this video right now may be holding one, perhaps in a coffee can, a childhood coin collection, or a forgotten savings jar, is not just possible, it's probable. And that's why demand is at an all-time high. Collectors are not just looking, they're hunting. Auctions are competitive. Private buyers are reaching out with aggressive offers. The market has never been hotter. But here's the cliffhanger. What if I told you that identifying this penny isn't as complicated as many people believe? That the signs of this rare error can be recognized by anyone with the right guidance? In a moment, we'll get into exactly what features make this particular 2017 D-error penny so valuable and how you can check your own coins for similar traits. And trust me, you don't want to miss that part because knowing what to look for could be the difference between holding a penny and holding nearly $900,000 in your hand. Before we go deeper, let me share something powerful. Thousands of people across the United States are discovering that their old coins, once forgotten in drawers, can create real wealth. Not theoretical wealth, not wishful thinking, but tangible financial freedom. People looking to sell their rare pennies right now are stepping into the most lucrative moment the market has seen in years. The demand is surging. Collectors are competing fiercely. And more importantly, people like you, people who never imagined spare change could build a wealthy lifestyle, are realizing just how real this opportunity is. And now, as we enter the final arc of our story, here's your call to action. Go through your pennies. Search your coin rolls. Re-examine your old collections. If you find a 2017 penny with a D mint mark, look closer. Because if you find the rare error variant, you're not just finding a coin. You're uncovering a financial breakthrough. And the market is hot right now. The window is open. The buyers are ready. And the value of this coin, hovering near that incredible $894,000 mark, is a signal that the world of rare pennies is more powerful than ever. Stay until the very last second of this video because in the next moments, I'll guide you through the exact features that distinguish the rare 2017 D-era penny from ordinary ones. And once you learn this, your next coin discovery might just change your life.